So how do you read your opponent? Well, number one is to recognize that when people are being stared at, they don't like it. And so you can get a lot of what are called false tells when you're just like staring somebody down at the table because they're just uncomfortable. Would you want to be stared at really hard?
Definitely not. Yeah.
No.
I'm the kind of guy that looks at my shoes. So yeah.
Exactly. So you might start doing some stuff that like I connect to your hand that's really actually just about general discomfort that's being created by like it's a long time that I've been sitting there and staring at you. So generally what you want to understand is that whatever physically you're getting from somebody, you're going to want to get relatively early on. Right. And that's generally going to be better. It's not that someone might not give you something later on. It's just, I think it's just a lot noisier when that happens.
Yep.
Okay. So what am I going to be able to see? There's a whole bunch of signs of discomfort and there's signs of happiness, right? So as an example, interestingly enough, at the poker table, when someone's like moving their knee up and down, like
yep,
it's actually a sign of nerves. It's a sign of a good hand. It's like a dog wagging its tail.
Okay, interesting.
So
when they're kind of jittery, they're
well, it depends. If it's specifically when the knee's going up and down.
Knee. Okay, interesting.
Right. When that happens under the table, then it's
that was like a Sam Bankman-Fried thing with his knee going up and down all the time.
Right. So in a lot of settings, like a social setting, it might be a sign of nerves or being nervous or anxious or something like that. In that particular setting,
right. If you see it and it's not normally the case, then okay, then maybe they've got a good hand. Okay.
Because think about it, like if someone's really
but now everyone knows that, so now everyone just like bounces their knee up and down.
That's true. Now they'll bounce their knee up and down. There's a whole bunch of stuff that has to do with the mouth. There's these self-soothing behaviors. So if you see someone ever like sort of like rubbing their hand on their fingers, or if they're moving their tongue on the inside of their cheek, that usually means that they're bluffing.
Oh, okay.
Or they're uncomfortable with their hand because it's called a self-soothing behavior. So anytime so with a man, if they have a beard, don't do this. But if they're like sort of rubbing the back of their neck, or sometimes they'll be sitting at the table and they'll be sort of going like rubbing their fingers, or if they're going like on the inside of their cheek or something like that.
But again, now everyone knows that. So you think they like assume if you know that, other people know that. So now they're like faking it.
That's true. Except that
it's hard to fake.
Yeah. Because involuntary actions look really different than voluntary ones.
Okay.
You can also look at like something called hooding. So have you ever seen someone where like, and you kind of always instinctively know they're lying when they say the thing and they sort of have this really long blink and then they open their eyes? That's called hooding. But there's actually a great guy who talks a lot about these body language. His name is Joe Navarro.
Right. Of course. I read his book. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got great work on this idea of like, how do you actually read people?